a good friend of ours, both of our programs. One, Charles Barkley, he made headlines this week. And if you guys didn't hear it out there, I will remind you of what he said. Barkley went on to say that there was going to be a surprise firing in the SEC, and that he knows for a fact that this place would go all in on Deion Sanders. Two-part question. Could he be right? And do you have any idea what place he's talking about?
I'll spare you how much I like Charles because that's everybody in the world. But I've known him since he was in high school, so I've just liked him longer than most. There are only two possibilities right now, Matt, if you do deductive reasoning in the SEC for firings. We talked about A&M, and that would be pretty spectacular. And the only other possibility, I think, would be Mississippi State. Where you're and because I've been on that campus recently, and there was just a feeling on the Mississippi State campus that Mike Leach had one thing to do this year, and that was to beat Ole Miss. And the reason why that's important, this is his third year. If he loses Thursday night on Thanksgiving night in the Egg Bowl, he'll be 0-3 against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. And to many people on that campus, even though two of those games have been in Oxford, that's not acceptable. You're experiencing what I think is the nastiest rivalry in college football. I know Alabama-Auburn gets a lot of attention, but it's really not anymore. The game in Columbus, that's a mega rivalry, but nastiness, I'm not sure. I'm talking about in your face nasty. I'm sure you'll go through the history of the game Thursday as you're coming on the air of everything that has happened between fights and Ole Miss blowing the game 4 years ago when the receiver faked.
Elijah Moore, yeah.
I got a coach fired, by the way, and it really saved the job of another guy who got fired after the next game, which brought Mike Leach in. But I mean, this is downright just a mean, nasty rivalry that losing is not tolerated. So I thought Ole Miss losing at Arkansas was the worst thing that could have happened to Mike Leach. So keep your eyes on that game, which you will since you're doing it.
I'll be in Oxford for the Egg Bowl, calling that game with Louis Riddick and Mississippi State. So the Barkley comments, I was like, who? And I did the same thing. I went through school by school. A&M was obvious to everyone, but then that's who I landed on as well with Mississippi State, because sometimes you wonder if fit was the fit everybody thought you were getting into, part one. But part two, where's Deion currently coaching? Jackson, Mississippi.
Not too far.
And so it seems to be one of those that if it did happen, I don't know. When he made that comment, I was like, who could it be? And I landed the same way. And I can't wait to experience that Egg Bowl, because talking with Dan Mullen yesterday, he's like, Matt, you have no idea. He said the school president starts every meeting, no matter what, starts every meeting with beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Go get the golden egg trophy. I mean, that's how important it is.
Yeah, Dan understands it, obviously. And I mean, I'm really excited you're going to experience this, because when Dan was there, it was really at its height, because you had Hugh Freeze rolling along, and the allegations between the two schools back and forth over cheating and illegality and all kinds of things reached its zenith during that period. And that's one reason why some have wondered, as John Cohn has now exited Mississippi State to go to Auburn as the AD, that he might be reluctant to hire Lane Kiffin because of all the bad blood that occurred on while he was there. But again, we don't need to get into the Auburn situation, because does the AD have the power to hire at Auburn? That's another question.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.